I have a confession to make. I have not been programming pretty much at all. Life has just been too difficult to do that at the moment. And that's going to change. That's going to change today. Despite applying to countless jobs, I've been rejected. So I need to make a change of my own. I was able to add a certification to my tool belt that proves my knowledge in the IT field. But right now I lack the experience. What can I do to bolster my skills, my resume, and my chances at living the dream? So I taught myself Python in January or February of 2024. And you could see that my last commit was in August. This is about the time that I decided I need to rethink my approach. I'm no programmer. I mean, I guess technically I am, but who am I kidding? I'm not going to be a programmer at like these high tech companies like Amazon or Netflix or Google. Or it would be cool, but I try to keep my dreams realistic. I don't have the experience, the knowledge, or the network to get there. Nor am I even sure I want to end up there. Turns out all this computer knowledge can be really useful in any job, but to excel, I must capitalize my passion. Here's what I love: organization, optimization, and problem solving, or puzzle solving. Programming was a great choice to add to my repertoire. It's every bit as challenging as I would like, but the only issue is there are many use cases. And this is super overwhelming to start with, especially as someone who has no real mentor. I must find a project to work on. My plan of action was just to get going on a project that I picked and just make it happen. And a big part of project management, whether that's for films or for personal builds or whatever, is understanding the scope and the reality of our skills. So I'm going to scale back the operation for now. I don't think I can just jump in and build something. I do think, however, I can start a dead simple project.
I have a folder, daily tracker, and I don't know what I'm doing here, so we're just gonna kind of fly by the seat of my pants. Go ahead and start thinking of some questions. So we just need 3 questions. What do you need to do today? Build a daily tracker tool. Yes, I did. This would be the date, the current date. Right now, it is just spitting out the answers. Okay, so now I've made basically what this will be. I just need it to now spit out a file or append it to the file that already exists. Okay, and so now it will spit out the date, it will spit out the questions, and it will spit out the answers. Tomorrow I will focus on outputting the answers. So my input should be printed or output onto the log text. I was sick yesterday. I'm still kind of sick today. But I decided I'm just gonna lock in. I'm just gonna get the shit done.
This is a command line interface tracker. Very simple project. And I built it all without any help from ChatGPT or a tutorial. A big step in getting out of tutorial hell is just building stuff, just doing what you want to do. I know that this is not impressive, and it's not supposed to be. My role, my task, the thing that's going to get me learning and doing is getting projects out the door, whether they're perfect or not. I'm just trying to get it done. And so this is done. This daily tracker is done. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now I can focus on the next one. We're going to start the Fortnite stat tracker. Fortnite tracker, here we go. So we simply just go to VS Code, and we're just going to go ahead and start laying down the foundation. I wanted to build a simple tracker that would take my 30 most recent rounds in Fortnite, count how many eliminations I got, and notate if I won. So Fortnite tracker, Fortnite stat tracker, number of eliminations, and then did I win, yes or no. Very simple. The API and the wrapper that it's used with is actually really cool, but it does not support like breaking down match history and stats per match. I do know, however, that Sundream has 113 total wins, 2,766 total matches, and 8,726 total eliminations in the solo game mode across all platforms. This project is dead in the water. Today's April 16th, and we need to move on from our last failed project to do something new. I think I can really help out Leah. Her work schedule is very consistent, but planning days off far in advance can be very troublesome. Let's see if there's a way that we can take that structure and make some sort of visual. So I want this calendar to show her work schedule on a consistent pattern. Of all the frameworks I've worked within, probably the one I'm most familiar with is tkinter, and that means tkinter Bootstrap as well. And lo and behold, I do a little Google, and there's a TK calendar. There's that library I can just explore, and there's already an example built out for me, and I can just start working. But I had to change the first weekday from Monday to Sunday. And I hate whenever calendars start on a Monday. If I understand Leah, she's not gonna like it either. So let's see what I can do for her. One of Leah's favorite colors is this sort of like lime green, pastel green. It's a really good color. Her other favorite colors are like lavender, or any other kind of purple, maybe a pink. Let's see if we could throw a Kuromi in there. If we can like design it to look cute, that would be really cool. Here's our color scheme. Since there's not like a direct one-to-one way to put a background onto a calendar, I think I'm just going to change the color scheme.
out that the text is too similar to the background, but so I'll be a lot more inclined to work on something if it looks good. And that's kind of what I've been doing this whole time, is just trying to make this look good. So now that the structure is there, the aesthetic is there, now I can start adding a little more functionality. This calendar is looking passable. After spending some time making sure that the calendar had a consistent background color, I was able to implement the algorithm that would track her workday schedules. So I highlighted it with Leah green, and it just goes on until the future. So here's where I had to find out the exact RGB code for the background image, and I was trying to match the background color of the calendar to the image, but there was too many variations in the color of the background. It would just be slightly off. So I ended up having to quantize the RGB in a photo editing program. You'll see the change here in a second. And then once that is done, I can really fine-tune the position of the calendar widget on the canvas, which allows me to make it look a lot more professional. We're going for a stationary notepad sort of look, and I think it looks really cute. I'm pretty proud of this.
Wait a minute. I am doing it. I can program. I can code. I do know what I'm doing. So I have transformed. I have gone through the trials of programming in Python. Some of the many trials that I've gone through are self-doubt, like, oh, it's been so long since I've touched this, I surely don't know what I'm doing. Maybe a little lack of confidence that I could even figure out how to do what I want to do. And ultimately, it's all just problem solving. It's not hard. I mean, it is, but it isn't like impossible. And so I think that's the lesson here, is that no matter what, I can do it. Sure, these projects aren't like groundbreaking or super incredibly impressive on their own, but the very fact that I walked into this not knowing how to do what I can do now, I think that's a merit worth sharing. Ultimately, my goal is to create. I have a mind that is just geared towards making my own reality. And so that's what I will do. I will make fun little apps or cool art installations. I'll make my dreams come true by having a large pool of skills to pull from and be able to confidently walk into any problem and trust that I can handle it.
I am super stoked for this project, how it came out. It's as functional as I'm willing to make it. So we'll run the program. It makes the canvas, which holds the picture in the background. And then I put a calendar on top that I had to like edit the image so that it's just one solid color in the background, so then I could match that color to the image so that it looks seamless. It looks like it's part of the same thing. These buttons they look terrible, but it's fine. I'll just let that slide for now. But they provide functionality. So I can go through the next couple months and see every single day that Leah's going to be working. But maybe I'm like, okay, November 8th, she works. So now I want to see how we are today. Bam. It takes us back to today. That's awesome. May. Somebody needs to know Leah's schedule for May. So we can take a screenshot. And I went with a sort of stationary direction. So it feels like you should be able to peel these off as little sheets of paper. And we can just go to the file and see that it exists here as just a little screenshot. 2 buttons, the ones that appear up here at the top, they looked terrible before because they were in Tkinter. Just by adding this single T right here, I have made these buttons a lot more beautiful. So this is a solution to a very mundane problem. Here's a calendar that looks kind of cool. Here's a calendar that's Leah coded, and it's actually Christian coded. I made it. I put it together, and I didn't want it to break, so you can't resize it. You can't really do that much with it. The pattern is basically hard coded in here, but I made it a functional piece of work for her so that if she wants to see if she's off in a couple days, in a couple months, couple weeks, it takes no time at all. Like, this type of stuff is super useful, and at a glance, I can solve her problems. And that's just what I like to do. I like to fix things. I like to be creative in my approach, even though this wasn't my idea. I'm taking credit for this idea, but I did it too. So, it's fun. I'm super stoked for this. Now I just got to figure out how to upload to GitHub and all that.